let's clear the floor. Let's completely leave this first bit open here for Ruben, man. Go talk about your boys.
I'll keep this open ended so that you guys can share your thoughts on it too. But shame on league, shame on the refs on last night's rig job. 23-2 fouls in the fourth quarter. You take away the intentional fouls, it was 15-2. How many shots in the fourth quarter? How many non-calls were not made? And that RJ offensive foul and that AD flop? Are you kidding me? Scotty going to the rim against Max Christie. There were three instances where he could have gotten fouled in that, and the game was a 1 point difference. So you're gonna tell me right now that that game wasn't rigged? Listen, I know, like, I was so pissed off watching that game last night because I think Toronto held their own. It was a really fun game back and forth, and I don't think this is anything against LA. I think LA did a really good job getting to the rim. They were forceful in their attack. A lot of the calls made towards them were right, but a lot of the calls called against or non-calls against the Raptors, I think I don't know what that was, man. I mean, you've gone around the league, you've seen the viral rant from Darko Rajakovic calling that. Dude, I think, do you guys think that's like top 10 rant, like coach rant of all time?
Oh,
Because I've seen people are
it's up
adding that in
there.
the pantheon. Yeah,
Cause
people are
like
adding that in there.
even when you think Coach Rand, what's like the first one that comes to your guys' mind?
Oh man, take that for data. For me in the NBA, I gotta go with what's his name? Um, he just coached the Grizzlies, David Fizdale. Take that for data.
Mm,
When he was coaching the Grindhouse, but I'm sure there are other coaching ones that you can think of.
I think it's definitely up there for sure. I think just based off all like the discourse it's generated. I mean to even think that you have that much of a discrepancy, and when you look at the personnel of the Raptors, it's almost impossible when you think about it. RJ Barrett puts an incredible amount of pressure on the rim. Pascal
Yep.
Siakam's the same. Scotty definitely got hacked a few times on that last drive, so
Uh,
it's disappointing
it's
to
yeah.
see that we're still facing these kind of refereeing problems. And it's
Thank
not
you.
even like this is like one big glaring moment. There's been a whole bunch of there's a whole catalog of things we could look at from this season. But overall, I think it just points to the fact that you know there needs to be
Needs
there
to
has to be
switch up. There
something the
needs to be
league
something.
does. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's punishment or I don't know what they do. I mean, this is not the second time Toronto has had a massive rant against Ben Taylor specifically. You can go to last year where Fred had that uh what was that 5 minute rant just dropping f bombs about Ben Taylor.
Yeah.
Oh
That was
yeah.
an all time rant, dude.
I had to
And
go
then
back to that.
this year it's Darko, and it's the same ref, man. And also this isn't the first time we've seen like several refs. Like, if you think about it, like go across I can't remember who I was listening to, but like you could name certain refs, and like they're not even supposed to be like they're the backstory of the game. Like they're supposed to be the social worker. They're supposed to be like the interceptor of the
Mm-hmm.
game, like just keeping things afloat, right? You let the game flow. But then there's the Scott Fosters and the freaking Ben Taylors of the world,
The
where it's like,
Eric
bro,
Lewis's.
oh my god, bro,
That's
like
my
get
fantasy
off.
team's name this year. It's Eric
Yeah,
Lewis
might
in a
have,
Celtics jersey.
bro. Like I've seen so many memes like people buying Lakers jerseys, and it was like the refs jerseys, and man, like there have been so many breakdowns about like every foul call that wasn't called against Toronto. It was just, I mean, he had a bar too where he was like, if they had to win tonight, then we shouldn't have shown up. That was a bar.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I
well,
think there's just no excuse to like have that much of discrepancy. Because again, it's not like we're talking about the Golden State Warriors where everything majority of the production's
on
coming
the
from
perimeter,
3 point line. Uh
agreed.
Toronto, from all intents and purposes, is a team that likes to get downhill when you look at the personnel. So
And they also have no shooting. Like
yeah,
Toronto, for the longest time, has had no shooting. Obviously, they're a much better team now in that sense, but like
Yeah.
that everything they do is so like in the paint oriented, and
Mm-hmm.
they outscored them in the paint, and they had more paint touches and more attempts at the rim. So I mean, I think they just got to fix stuff. I don't know, Christian. What do you think? Because like, I feel like the what do you think the punishments should be? Like, I feel like there has to be something like if there's refs getting fined or suspended. I don't know. I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't really know either. I feel that like putting refs through a suspension, I feel that it would just be like sort of to like appease the media, but I don't really know if there's a true solution to it, which is unfortunate. I think there's like so much business that goes on behind the scene in basketball, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I feel like to appease sort of the public media and to like at least display a more fair, uh, I guess, result. It would make sense to suspend the refs and I don't know, like kind of have them like, do you cut a refs pay? Like they don't make they don't make the money that the fucking NBA players do.
that's true.
Like they just don't make a paycheck and all of a sudden like little Timmy's not eating. I don't know. I
Lil Timmy's not eating, bro.
like I don't really know what the solution is, unfortunately. Like it would be so much different if if it were a player situation that was sort of like they're like Tom Brady deflating the balls or some shit like that. But it's like the people that kind of just help the organization of the game go. Yeah, I wish I had an answer for that, but I feel like
Yeah,
I don't.
I think the big thing we're probably gonna see is that Ben Taylor's probably not gonna get as many playoff games potentially. I think is something that we could
Mm.
look at, but overall, it sucks to say, but it's just kind of another drop in the bucket, and you know, Adam Silver will more than likely probably just ride it out until the next time a ref makes a major mistake, which is like I think something that's very broken with basketball at the moment because
yeah,
there is definitely a big problem there where it's not necessarily that uh I mean not
yeah,
necessarily it's just the fact that the refs are all very there's just a big amount of inconsistency, which is
yeah,
Mm.
human nature at the end of the day. But yeah, what happened last night is you can't have stuff like that happening for sure.
yeah. You can. I mean, I'll do my last point on that. It's like it's just ruining the integrity of the game.
Absolutely.
You know, it's just like it's just ruining the flow of the game and like the game management last night from Ben Taylor. I just don't understand how you see the things like I try to watch every game as like, it's obviously difficult, but as with an unbiased lens as possible. And there are many times where I'm like, yeah, the Raptors committed a lot of bad fouls last night. I think and it's a younger team, so they made a lot of bad decisions defensively. But like the thing about IQ, that's a basketball play
Hmm.
and that being a flagrant when Torian Prince opened the game undercutting Pascal in the open court, and then you don't call that a flagrant. Like those are the things that I'm talking about. I was like, it feels very blatant. So yeah, we're ruining the integrity of the game. And like whenever you talk about NBA basketball with somebody who is more of a basketball junkie in general, oftentimes they're like, well, the ref and the way the game's called and officiated is so different to every other league. So yeah, I think in terms of discrepancy, even between leagues, I think the NBA's got a big problem with refs, man.
Yeah. They should just let Tony Brothers ref every game. That
Yeah,
that guy's the
yeah.
best ref. Him and Gucci
And
Mane.
oh yeah, what's his name again?
Oh man, I don't even know his real name, but even like the players call him Gucci Mane.